Hey guys,
Good morning.
we have been getting a ton of questions about what the tool was that we showed in our stories last night that showed like the readings and things. And so we just wanted to explain that a little bit.
Should we do the Wayne's World thing?
I don't even know what that is.
Moisture meter, power drill, bits, socket set, wrench, hammer, pliers. We're going to inspect some campers. We also have a ladder, a jack, a flashlight, and of course a hitch. So today we're going to inspect not just one camper, but two, and they're in the same place. Had to stop to get gas. So we had saved a listing on Marketplace a while back for an RV, and just kind of keeping it in the back of our heads. And then another one popped up yesterday that we had some interest in, and when we're looking at the pictures, you're like, hey, these are at the same place. So it turns out the same person is selling both of these RVs. Don't know what the story with that is yet, but we figured it's a great opportunity to go see two at once. And I don't know if we're gonna buy any. We could buy one, we could buy two, but we're gonna give them an inspection and see if they're worthwhile. We were instructed to find the blue door at the back of a warehouse. Once inside, we were amazed to find a small, almost top secret RV dealership. The first I checked out was a Grey Wolf that had a lot of renovation potential and had some cool gadgetry with a remote control that controlled just about everything from the air conditioner to the awning. And it even had skylights in the slide. The second was a Surveyor that had an equal amount of potential. Lots of space. The ideas were flowing for a redesign here. So what did we decide? Were we going to go home with one RV, two RVs, or no RVs? Ultimately, what happened in the inspection is we got too many readings like this. This is a moisture meter, so it looks a lot like a stud finder if you're familiar with a stud finder, but instead of looking for studs, it looks for
Moisture. Kind of learned the hard way that this was an important tool to add to our toolbox when going to inspect RVs.
And so this is a real common tool for inspectors, like home inspectors. It's also used by people that install flooring, especially on concrete, when they're trying to make sure that the materials are a safe level to do installations, or if they're looking for any kind of water issues. And so we've just adopted it to use it as part of our toolkit, and it's really been shown to be invaluable.
It's definitely saved us from purchasing some RVs that, you know, at first glance we thought seemed good, and then after using this we realized there was moisture and inspected further.
Yeah, because ultimately you're going to want to poke around and prod and feel things and smell things and that sort of thing, but this is just another level of indication of what's going on beneath the surface where you can't exactly see. How we use it is we just generally run it along the walls, especially the tops and the bottoms, around windows, anywhere where there's any sort of sealants like slide seals, and then really especially in slide floors. And it's not that I can attest that it's 100% accurate. There are definitely some glitchy readings sometimes that you might pick up on, I don't know, nail holes, staples, things like that. But what it does is it really illustrates kind of like a broader picture, or shows you a trail. So if you're going across the wall and you're getting 0 or maybe 5%, and then all of a sudden you hit a seam in the wall and it's showing, 25, 30, and you follow that seam and it goes all the way to the floor, and maybe at the floor you get an even higher reading, well, that's a pretty good indication that water is coming from the ceiling, dripping down, and then you're going to have a rotten subfloor underneath there.
Which we definitely try to steer clear of. We weren't always this smart. Here's a flashback of when we didn't use a moisture meter and what happened to us.
Black mold, and so the subfloor is going to need replaced. The wall is going to need taken out and checked out and replaced in parts, and then obviously we're going to need to seal up wherever it's leaking from. You can see that trail right there, and just dripping, soaking, wicking into that little crack, and it caused all that damage on the inside. Just that little space. Opening the wall on the inside revealed a few more leaks around the window and another one by the floor. Some wall studs needed replaced, as well as the entire subfloor. And erected what they call stilts. These are pieces of wood that are go down to the ground, and they hold the slide up. And the reason you have these is in case you unbolt the slide. Keep in mind that they don't sell plywood the size of a super slide floor. Look at how bad these old panels were. They're completely dry rotted, ruined. The water damage on this panel actually came from the window and went down to the floor. Well, that lets in a whole lot more light. We got it all replaced and repaired. It ended up being better than new and beautiful, but water damage is definitely a headache we'd like to avoid in the future. So that was a short glimpse into what we dealt with that renovation. So again, we looked at it, we touched it, we prodded it, we smelled it, all those kinds of things. And we thought we were getting a good buy. We thought everything was a-okay until we ripped up that carpet and we were surprised, and it got us into a mess that we didn't want to be in. And to be honest, I don't know if I ever want to be in again. So that's why we're so particular about looking, searching, trying to find out if there's any kind of problems beneath the surface.
Hope you guys all have a great Sunday.